What's going on, guys? It's Ben here from BH Aquatics, and in today's video we're going to be talking about yet another problem in the fish room. Actually, it's not really, yeah, it is a problem, but it was more or less my mistake, personal mistake that I made. Obviously, we're right now looking at the Pleco breeding tank, the 55-gallon tank that I was planning on doing. It was a Pleco breeding project attempting to breed the L200, aka Green Phantom Plecos. As you can see, I mean, I set up the tank generally as best as I could. There's plenty of videos out on my channel already about how I attempted to set it up to actually get some good breeding production out of these fish, but apparently it wasn't enough. I lost all 6. Last week I had a video that came out about how I lost 4 of them. Now I've completely lost all 6 of them, which is kind of a bummer because I spent quite a bit of money on these guys. You guys will know the Green Phantom Plecos are quite expensive, especially if you buy them retail, although I did get them for a cheaper price just due to discounts from where I work, but you know, still it can be pretty pricey, and either way it was just a really big loss to the fish room. Other than that, you're probably thinking, Ben, what did you do now? There's obviously something else. I mean, you titled the video Another Mistake, so what else did you do? Alright, well, basically, you know how everybody just has those days where they wake up, they got a bunch of stuff they gotta do, and they put off all the stuff they gotta do until the end of the day. I do that quite often, but it normally never interferes in my fish room schedule of different things I have to do. Anywho, what do I do Friday night? I have chores I have to do, homework I gotta do for school. So I go in, I procrastinate like normal, and I come out and do different things. I don't exactly remember. I think I actually went to go see Captain Marvel at the movie theater. So we go out, me and my family, and then I do some stuff afterwards that needed to be done. I probably got finished around 11 o'clock. Actually, I did get finished around 11 o'clock. And me, I'm the kind of guy that needs my beauty sleep. I don't know, comment down below if you guys are like that. I just need my sleep, okay? And so I'm thinking 11 o'clock, this is the time I gotta go to bed, completely forgetting about my fish. This is the problem though. That morning, the morning before I needed, Friday morning, which the whole movie thing, 11 o'clock, took place Friday night. Friday morning, I woke up, went down into the basement, fed all my fish, but when I feed my fish, I turn off the entire air system. After I feed my fish, 5 minutes later I turn on the air system and then go upstairs. Well, Friday morning I had a science fair, so my time was more pressed than normal because I had to get ready, get all this stuff, get a suit on, and different things like that. So I come down here, I turn off the filters, feed my fish, then go upstairs. Completely forget to turn the filters back on. What this means is that the water is now going to become stagnant, which basically means the water's going to be stationary, and depending on how much debris is lying on the bottom of the aquarium, the water can get very cloudy to a deadly level. Especially if the water is stationary like that for more than 16 hours. Well, 16 hours, why don't you just say 12 hours, Ben? Well, it's just my personal experiences. After 16 hours is when it gets to a deadly level. But anywho, I go and let's fast forward to 11 o'clock Friday night after leaving these tanks stagnant for about 10 hours. So I go to sleep Friday night at 11 o'clock because, you know, like I said, I need my sleep. Completely forgetting about the fish stuff. Then I wake up the next morning. I have work. So I get ready for work. Saturdays, I actually don't feed my fish until 12 o'clock when I get home from work. 1 o'clock because I don't get home from work until 12:30. So I go and skip the fish in the morning because I actually thought that I fed them the night before, even though that I didn't. So by now, the fish have already been in the water for more than 16 hours, and it's completely stagnant by now. Water's getting completely cloudy, and I come home from work. Of course, something kicks in. I have plans that night, Saturday night, so I get all my work done right after work that I have to do, like house chores, homework, different things like that. Again, forgetting about my fish. This is one time of very few situations like this, so this obviously doesn't happen that often, but it just happens to, basically when it rains it pours, everything kind of clashes together at once, so this was kind of a situation like that. That night, I come home, because I still haven't done my fish yet in more than 24 hours, so I come home and I actually remember to do my fish, because I'm like, oh, damn, I actually haven't done my fish for the past 24 hours. Come down, thinking that I left my filters running, which it would be better if I left the filters running and not fed them for 24 hours than it would be leaving the filters off, letting the water get stagnant and not having them fed for 24 hours. So I come down and I don't hear the filters running because, you know, this air filter, this air thing that's way down the corner over here behind the camera, it's so powerful you can hear it. So I come down right here and I'm like, wait, this is not running. It's not plugged in, so obviously the filter's not broken. I just completely forgot to turn it on. And there's no like on-off switch on it, so I actually have to unplug it out of the wall every time that I want to shut it off and turn it back on. So anywho, I do that, and I'm like, instantly come right over to my fry box. The only fry that I've had in, I believe, since December, and at the end of December you guys may have remembered me losing 30 to 40 blue albino topaz fry, which is like the main central, it's the centralization of the profits that I make in this fish room. So these ones were half black pastels, new fry that I got from my new strains, back in my new strains video earlier, either this month or last month. So I looked into the breeder box they were all in. I consolidated I have 2 tanks where I had fry. So I consolidated both tanks of fry into one. I don't really care, even though they're both from different lines of fish. So I just tossed them into one breeder box, let them be. I lost like 2, fished them out. I had about 13 total in that thing. Not much, because most of the pairs and trios that I got are juveniles. So I came in and I looked at it. The water was completely stagnant. All the other tanks were just fine. I did lose one. I lost one male in one of the trios of half black pastel guppies that I got that I showed you guys in my new strains video. I did lose one male, so that was a bummer, but it wasn't the best one, so that was alright. It wasn't a big deal. But when I looked into the fry box, of course, every single thing was dead. These guys, they're small, their immune systems are not nearly as good as the other guppies, so the loss was inevitable. Even though that this is an unfortunate event, and I have been set behind a lot of money, it's gonna come back eventually. I do have a couple of pregnant guppies in the fish room, which is nice, and I'm gonna show you guys in the next video potentially, because I did tell you guys a couple videos ago that I would come out with certain videos, updated versions of old ones that I didn't do exactly correct. So I will do those. Now, even though this was more of a story thing, I do want to say, I do make this sound, I know sometimes I do make it sound like it's all about money, but once the work is put in, because running a fish room is not easy, you have to be able to keep up with everything. Once the work is put in, then the fun comes afterwards. And fish rooms can be expensive. That's basically like one of the lessons to this video. And without breeding a certain quota of guppy fry and different fry of different fish, then you're not going to be able to sell them, and ultimately not selling them doesn't bring in profit, and that doesn't allow you to pay off the different bills that allow you to keep such a privilege of a fish room. And so I am going to keep up with everything in the future, starting now officially, even though that I basically have been doing it. I just had this big like 24-hour, 36-hour day off. everything's coming back next week, and we're just gonna hammer it in. Get some new Green Phantom plecos for this breeder tank here, and hopefully head into breeding some more guppies so that I can show you guys and we can develop a larger fish room in the future. So overall, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. You know, it's all been one. This has been completely unedited, minus one clip change between this tank and me talking. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Definitely gonna get back on my feet in the next 2 weeks. And so other than that, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.